What's up, everybody? My name is Sift, and today we're making, for those with a sweet tooth, we're making a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vanilla cupcakes. They are light, they are moist, they're fluffy. Oh, pastry and I are the best of friends. I love me some pastry. So we're gonna be using WoodenSpoon yellow and white margarine just to show you the diversity that it has. It is beautiful, it is full fat, it is creamy. It lends itself so much into baking and it's what you need. So without wasting time, let's go through the ingredients. Vanilla, white margarine from WoodenSpoon, icing sugar, melted yellow margarine from WoodenSpoon, milk, eggs, oil, sugar, baking soda, sprinkles, flour, little bit of salt. So first things first, we're gonna mix all our dry ingredients together. Wanna make sure that the flour goes in there, but not too much. You wanna give yourself a little bit of room with your ingredients so that you always have a little bit more to play with or a little less to play with. No? So you don't wanna put too much sugar. Because it's for those with a sweet tooth, we're going in all the way in. We've got our baking soda. The baking soda acts as a raising agent as opposed to using baking powder. This is what you use here because we want them very fluffy, we want them very airy, and we want them very moist too. So it acts as a very, very important key component into this. Then let's mix them all up. Make sure that you mix it all in. Once it's all in there, then we go in with our butter. This is the yellow margarine from WoodenSpoon. Make sure that dump all of that goodness in there. Now, we're gonna balance the margarine with a little bit of oil. Not too much oil because already it's there, but what it does is that it gives it that nice smoothness. You know, that's that moisture that you want, that consistent moisture that you want, and it doesn't have that dry, crumbly effect. It just makes it bind so beautifully together. Put them all in there. Ooh, already. I mean, the color from the margarine already says everything. We're gonna grab our eggs. Now, eggs are very important when you're making most of the cookies or scones or muffins because they become a binder. We use it as a binding ingredient. Now, a binding ingredient just make sure that they don't fall apart when you try to pick them up. They don't fall apart or crumble when you try to pick them up. So we've got our first egg here. For this recipe, we're gonna be using 4 eggs. So I'm just gonna quickly whisk the eggs in. Now in with the rest of our wet ingredients, which would be the vanilla essence. Go in there, that'll give it that beautiful flavor, that beautiful aroma, and a little bit of the milk. And then mix it all in. Add your egg mixture. Now the magic starts to happen here. As you do this here, you beat it all in together. Add your flour because you also don't want it too loose so that it doesn't get a chance to bind too well. So in here, I had 2 cups of flour. You see that they're all gonna be going in. There we go. That's fantastic. Now, whenever you get your margarine or you get your WoodenSpoon margarine, never throw the paper away. This actually works really, really well. This is something that my mom taught me. So you take your tray, put it down, take chunks of the margarine, just dump them in there. Of course, that's what's left on the paper. You know, most people would have ended up in the bin. And then when you're done, just take the paper and then liberally scatter so that this acts like another layer to your non-stick. So there we go. Of course, why not? My trusted WoodenSpoon. Get it? WoodenSpoon. Okay. Want to pour it halfway through because you want to give it enough room for it to rise and not be overflowing everywhere. Just shake it in. See how it looks? And it's just incredible. Now we're going to pop this in the oven for 20 minutes. While that's going down, we're going to be making our icing. Fantastic process. So just get that beautiful WoodenSpoon white margarine in there. Already, it's very important that if you want to do like an icing, you have to get the margarine at room temperature so that you don't have to then wait and then struggle with it. Also, it mixes very nicely when it's at room temperature. Put in that icing sugar in there. Now you can add whatever you want to this. You can add cacao so that it can become more chocolatey. You can add a little bit more vanilla essence into this so that it can have that beautiful and carry on the theme of the vanilla, you know, that we'll have already inside the cookies. So yeah, boom, look at that. That beautiful, beautiful wooden spoon white margarine has just lent itself to become beautiful icing. Oh yes, I could eat this alone. All right guys, now the cookies have cooled down and we gave them like 10-15 minutes. I mean, look at the shape. Look at just how beautiful they look. So right here, we've got our icing. So this is our icing with the wooden spoon white margarine here. And all I did here, just to, you know, add a bit of dimension, I took a little bit of the icing that was here, I added it into a bowl, and then I added food coloring. Huge helping. Make sure that it goes all the way down, again down. Now it's very important that you let them rest. You can just dunk them in there, in your sprinkles, right there. Because this one has such a pretty color, I don't want to hide that color with too many sprinkles. There we go. That is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vanilla cupcakes. Thank you to WoodenSpoon, Yellow Margarine, and White Margarine, of course, from Williton, with these incredible, incredible ingredients. Look at the cupcakes that they've given us. These are fluffy, these are soft. These are for any occasion, whether you're an avid baker, whether you're a professional baker, or you want to do it at home for the weekend for the kids. This is something that you can make really quickly, and everybody will love this. You're sure to impress. Now, keep baking. We'll do this again soon. Thank you, Williton.